Hello. Hi guys. Welcome to another live no coding session. Hope you're all doing fine. And I'm ready to go. I hope you can hear me well and see me well. We got some feedback from you guys, and we thought about it as well a little bit about what we can build today. I mean, last week with the AI integration, I think that was pretty interesting, pretty nice, right? So it's something else maybe along those lines, although not really AI based, is about document generation, right? So we all try to be fully digital, obviously. So end-to-end digital processes is I guess what we're all aiming for. But every now and then you still need to interact in a way that resembles like documents, like you would typically know them, right? And those can be in digital form as well, right? Think of a PDF or something like this, and but still to send it around so people could potentially print it out or do whatever with it. Now, the question is, how do you bridge that gap between like fully digital workflows and then actually a document based output, for example? And so that's what I kind of want to dive into today. And one example that I actually thought about was just creating a little shopping list kind of app where you can pick certain articles and it will automatically generate a proper invoice for you, with all the sums and everything. So I think that should be nice. Now let's go in and try to build this. Again, as always, guys, the chat is open. So I'd be really interested to hear what you think. Any ideas that you have along the way, any suggestions, anything that you want to see that might be interesting, just hit me up. And so let's think about this for a second. So about the documents, what we're going to need is something called a template, right? And the template is it's basically a document that hasn't been filled yet. It's a document template. And we have a tool in here called the template designer. Now, I'm just going to create a new empty template called an invoice. And as you can see, this already looks like kind of your typical Word documents or whatever word processor you might have. And we can use it just in the same way, right? So I'm going to put in a little bit of a header section here. So I'm going to add an image and I'm going to upload an image. And for this scenario, I'm actually going to use a logo. Just, want to make it a little nice letterhead, right? And I can right align this now and maybe decrease the size a little bit, even more. Yeah. So something like this, right? So that's nice. Then I'm going to add a paragraph element to it right underneath it. And I'm just going to add, our business information like so. And I'm going to add another paragraph. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I have to say my computer is a little bit slow right here, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Maybe it's the streaming software. It's kind of messing with my my memory right here, but okay, I'll try to make it work. It's lagging for me on my machine, but okay. So yeah, let's just put a little bit of a letter head in here. So this one, okay, this one didn't save properly. So okay, there we go. And this one we're gonna actually put in another line. Right, okay, so that's good. Maybe we can make this actually a little bit smaller. Yeah, just put this on 12 characters. Yeah, and there is a bottom margin that's set to 10 automatically. I think we can just remove that and set that to 0. No, not 90. 1 and 0. Okay. So I think that's looking good. Now, actually, you know what? There are, at least in Germany, where we are based, there are actually certain rules on like the kind of information that need to be present on a proper invoice, right? And I don't want to go into details because that's not what the video is about, but I think we definitely gonna need to have a invoice number. Now, what's interesting is I can use variables here, and just like it says here, and I'm gonna put it like so, invoice number, and then the variable I'm going to call invoice number. So this is where the template idea comes from, right? So I'm just going to specify what this invoice should look like, but without actually filling it into any value. So this is just, you know, me providing the title, and then this variable will actually be replaced in a flow with an actual value. So so this is this. Maybe we can already do a bottom paragraph. Thank you for your business. And well, now I want to have a table in here, which is obviously for the items, right? And yeah, just let me pull something up right here. Okay, maybe one more thing that we shouldn't forget is something like maybe customer name or something like this. So I'm just gonna drag in another paragraph in here, and you know, I'm just gonna call this recipient name, and maybe another paragraph down here. Hold on. And I'm gonna call this is gonna be my recipient's address. Guys, I have to do something about my my setup here, because it's really super slow, and that's not a lot of fun to work like this. I don't know if this is OBS, which is the streaming software that I'm using, or if it's some. So let's see. All right, we should be back now. Sorry about that, guys. Some issue with the old OBS, but I think we're good now. So let's continue. Okay, so I'm gonna go log back in, and now I can actually use the template designer the way I wanted it to, right? All right. So recipient's address is what we wanted, right? And yeah, now we can actually use you know, a little bit of a margin here. I don't think I want to have some margin here. Yeah, that looks good, I think. and okay, maybe I should put in a date too. So let me just add columns, elements, and then add that invoice number, because now I can actually add a nice little thing, and I'm just gonna put in yeah, I'm just gonna put in the date like so, and this is right aligned, this is left aligned. I think that looks kind of nice. I think that's how we can do it. All right, so we have our letterheads, we have our recipient address. This is going to be my title. This is going to be my date. I don't think that needs to be bold. Yeah. Okay. And you can do this invoice in caps. Okay, and now what you would typically do, right, is in your footer you could have something like your business contacts, right? So I can just draw this in here as a paragraph, kind of repeat what I already did on the top, I guess. But maybe make this, we can pick some gray color or something like this. I think that would look nice. Hold on. Didn't select it properly. Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna add some more data. And then maybe let me duplicate this and put this in the other column right here. And I guess we can put in some socials or something like this. So twitter.com/Mobile2b, I guess. And then we also have Facebook.com/Mobile2b. For example, I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? But this is just to make this look like a proper document that you would have on a, in a business context or something like this. Yeah, I think it's already getting there. So now I guess we can do actually the table itself. This is where I want to put in the data, right? And what do we need? Let's think about this. So typically you'd have some sort of a position, right? Okay, this is the first item, this is the second item, so some numbering. Yeah, so let's do that. So this will be my item number. Then I'm gonna have a second column, and that column is gonna be for my item description. Yeah. And we need more columns. We need a third column, and that's gonna be for the amount. And then I'm gonna have I need to have more columns. And by the way, maybe we can make that header also look a little bit nicer, like so. Yeah. Then I'm going to let me just add a few more columns because I'm gonna need those. And by the way this works is these paragraphs, what I type in here doesn't really matter. It's more like a placeholder text. But what does matter is all the styling. So if I set the font color or if I make it bold or whatever, that will apply to every row that will get added to that table later. The actual text value, for example, like the description, that will be replaced by the article, right? But for styling purposes, like if make this bold, I'm gonna do that in a second. But yeah. So and now, so that's the amount. I'm just putting in some text here so I can kind of visualize or like remember what I want to put in. So and this is gonna be price per unit, right? And maybe we should just have one less column is fine, I guess. And then we're gonna have a total. And let's make that bold actually, right? So we're gonna have an item number, a item description, the amount of, so how many times, how many items, how many units of that item do we have, what's the price per unit, and then multiply those to get the total amount, right? Amount of units. What I can do and what I want to do is actually space this out a little bit more nicely. So right now it's I guess doing an even spacing, but if I use this percentage here, I know I'm gonna have maybe let's do just a 15 here and then 15 here and then actually just a 15 here. I think that's gonna look quite nice actually. Maybe we can even do the item, reduce this a little bit. Yeah. Again, I know this looks weird now because of the line breaks, but we're not gonna have that problem once this goes through actually, all the processing and the data is going to get put in. So yeah, I'm just playing around with the layout a little bit. Thank you for your business. And actually it should be time to publish this. So yeah, I think that's kind of okay to get started. We can always go back and edit the template, obviously, but I think this should give you a nice idea on what's possible if you play around with it, with the different template elements, and how you can set this up. Now, let's talk about the items. We did say I wanted to build some sort of a shopping cart app, right? So you can actually pick articles from a database and then have it create the document. So I'm gonna want to have a data model, and I'm gonna call this article. Okay. I just saw I should switch back to English just so you guys can see the proper English UI here. Okay, so articles. Now, article is gonna have a description. Let's add a picture actually. That's nice for maybe for the app, right? And let's add a number value, price per unit. Yeah, and the minimum value is gonna be 0, I guess. No maximum value, 2 decimal places. Yeah, and let's leave it like this. And then I am going to save this. And maybe for the picture, I can actually put this into the cards, because that's gonna be nice when I select the article later on. Then we're gonna have a nice visualization. So, but we're gonna definitely need the description and the price per unit. So that's that. And yeah, let's go and create us a view for those. So let's put in, I think that icon is actually fine for articles. All right. Okay. So we're gonna have. So this is our articles. Now let's put in some articles in here. So it's gonna be, I don't know, coffee large. Price per unit. I don't know. These days, $4.50. Oh, and that's actually, let's put this in euros. So that's gonna be euro price. Let's see if I can get us a nice. Oh, that's actually a nice picture. I think we need that for large coffee. So. Does this not work? Maybe it didn't. Did that download it properly? I think it didn't download the picture properly. Yeah, okay, so I can't download the picture. Oh, sorry, I was the wrong link. Okay, so that's that. So now we have our nice large coffee, and you can see it looks kind of nice. Let's just start with this, and then we can always add new articles later on. So now I want to build my UI, and I'm gonna call this shopping cart. And well, I think that's very simple. Let's just add maybe a little bit of an alert. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think a label is gonna look nicer. Welcome to our shopping app. To purchase, simply select articles below and check out. Right, that's easy enough, I think. Okay, so now obviously we're gonna want to have the user be able to select multiple articles, so a repeat group I think is what we need. Select articles, and I think in here we want a business object selection right here, and that's supposed to, I need to pick my article, and while we're at it, I should also add columns here. I think that looks gonna look nicer. Okay, and we're gonna pick the amount as well, because okay, right, so now the user is going to, let me add some margin here, maybe 30, 40, yeah, and then this one, I can also style this button a little bit. Do we have some sort of a shopping cart? Yeah. Buy now. Boom, that looks good. Okay, so this is, I mean, obviously you can make this look a lot nicer in your UI, but you get the idea, right? So this is going to be a repeat group, and then you select articles and select the amount of article, the amount of times you want this article. You add new articles, and then buy now is when we want to create the invoice documents. So yeah, let me just auto create a flow. That's a nice little trick in case you didn't know that. That lets us just create a flow automatically from a UI. And this is supposed to be my shopping app. Okay, Okay, we're gonna do this a little bit later. By the way, let me turn this off for the sake of this demo. I don't need this. Yep, and now I can actually do this. Oh no, I can't. Okay, yeah, because now we can actually go to the launchpad, add this to the launchpad, and I think that's gonna look quite nice. Yep, that's my shopping app. Now let's actually go into the flow first and work on this a little bit, because the assistant created the automated assistant created a flow for me that has the UI already in it, and already has a document generation node, which is actually both what I want. But I want to use my invoice template. And now you can see what happened. All the variables that I set in the template now need to be filled. And for now, let me just hard code these to see how that works. So 1, 2, 3, and then this is gonna be today's date, something like this, right? But we're gonna need a table, and this is where we're going to need another element. What is it? Because our UI, the UI does not have the variables here. That's right. That's right. Okay, so what we need is a UI loop. Loop over selected articles. So I can do shopping carts and then loop over repeat group. Oh, and then I'm gonna need to do this and this. Loop over selected. Okay, so I want to loop over repeat group. Why does it say none available? I think this selection is somehow broken. Or did I not publish the UI properly? That could also be the case. That's probably the case. Sometimes those are the kind of things that will make you scratch your head for a long time, but it's actually simple. Yeah, I didn't publish the UI, so obviously that's not available in the flow then. But okay, now we have our shopping cart UI. Actually, you can see this now too, so that does make sense. Then I'm going to loop over the articles, which I'm going to do in a second, and then this loop will actually give me see all these, the amount that I put in, and also the article selection. So what I can do now is, because ultimately our goal now is to fill this table variable, right? And this is what I need a table generation for. So generate invoice item, or let's just call it item table. And the way the table generation works is that every time I run through it in this loop, a new row will be appended to the bottom of the table. And that's exactly what we want, because we're looping over articles, and then for every article there's going to be one entry in the table. And then ultimately this table is what we will put into the template, and then this template will be generated from that. Okay, and this one now I need to set. And so this is going to be my item number. And now that's actually quite interesting. I just need to go over the loop now. And this one I'm just gonna hard code to 1 as well for now. We'll get back to that in a second, because that's gonna need some more thought. Item description, text, and the variable here is going to be my article description. And then the column number 3. And by the way, whatever I put in here is going to be the header value of the column. So where it says column 0, column 1, column 2, etc., that's what's going to be put in there, I think, if I remember correctly. So item description, then we're gonna have amounts. So that's gonna be amount and just a number, I guess, which is the selected amount that the user selected in the UI. And what else do we have? Price per unit. And you know what we can do, just to see where we're at? We can try to start this now. It should result in an error because our table, what we're setting up right now in the flow, that has 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, while the template has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, and that doesn't match, and that should return an error. But let's see. So let's go to the shopping app, start it for the first time. So we only have one article. Oh, you know what? First thing I noticed, I want to make the picture appear. So in these articles, I'm going to select the preview. Yes, that is what I want. Maybe I need to go back to the articles here. Make sure this is show in cards. Yep. And don't want to select it as a link. I want to select it as a preview. I don't know. Maybe I have to go back. Because I wanted this to look like, you know, with the... Oh, it's appearing... Sorry. It's appearing after I've selected it. Yeah, that's right. And then 2 coffees. Oh, like... Okay, 2 coffees, right? And then buy now. Okay. And see, we're getting the exact error that I was talking about, right? So invalid number of tables. So that's it's pretty clear, right? So, okay, let's now go fix that. And here's an interesting thing, because now we actually need something else to do something else, which is calculate the line total, right? Because we now have an amount. How many times do I want the item, and then what's the value or the price per unit. So I'm gonna pick a calculation element. Calculate line total, and should be a fairly similar simple. So the amount times price per unit. That should give us the line total, and then we can use that line total and put that in here as the 5th column in the table. Okay, and now we need to actually make this part of loot. It's important that this calculation is now positioned before the table generation, because if it wasn't, you know, then we wouldn't have the value and we couldn't put that in the table. Okay, so publish, and let's try again. Shopping cart app, coffee 2, buy now. Okay, so we have 0 errors, and there's a link to the report. Yeah. So okay, item number, item description, amount, price per unit, total. That's what we wanted, right? Here's the the recipient. Here's the item. And I guess what I should also already be able to do is if I launch it again, and if I select 3 coffees, and then select coffee again, but now this time 5 coffees. So we have our 2 items, which is exactly how I wanted. I have 3, I have 5, I have 4.5, and I have 13.5, 20, 22.5, which are the correct sums. But I see I have this item number 1, which is fixed, and that's not so nice. And also I can see some formatting, which I kind of don't like. So let's work on both of those things. So for the number, I'm thinking I think we can do a little bit of a trick. Let's do a calculation element again, and let's just call this item number counter. And the formula is going to be item number counter plus 1. So, and that's obviously going to be an empty value in the beginning, and I hope that initially this sets it to 1 and then 2 and then 3 and so forth. So if I put this in here as the first node and then take item number counter and put that, you know, where I hard-coded the 1, let's just instead, okay, let's set this a number and let's do this, publish, and let's try it again. So coffee 3, and now coffee 1. Works. Now we have 1 and 2, right? And that should continue down as we add more articles. Now let's do a little bit about the formatting in here, because I want this to be actually nice formatted euro numbers. And there is a specified node for this called a value converter, because they are, so convert euro values, or formats euro values, I think that's what we can call it. And what we want to do is we want to convert the unit price as text. So we want to convert from number to text. And which variable do we want to convert? Well, let's go back to the unit price. So there should be article price per unit. And for the patterns, luckily we already have a pattern for the euro format, or the currency format here. But you can also do different formats. Like if you go to custom, you can customize your formatting just to your needs, like add 1,000 separators or commas or whatever. And total as text. And that's also converting from number to text. And now, okay, I need to put this in here because first I need to calculate the total. So calculate line total needs to go in here, and I'm going to use the same euro pattern. Okay, so like this. Oops, let me flip this around. And now format euro values. Yeah, I think this is just okay. Now it has the update. Yeah, and then this generate item table, I actually want to use the unit price as text here. We'll change this to text like so, and then also the line, the total as text. Make this a text instead of a number, and now it's blue instead of green. And I think this amount we can leave as a number, and the counter as well. So let's try this again. Or actually, I think we can just do a debug run for this one too. So coffee large 2, and that's actually all the information you get in a debug run. That's quite nice to see, right? And this is also how you can already see the formatting worked, and that looks quite nice. But actually, there is one thing that I just remembered is, well, we don't only need like a line total, we need a total, right? So that is definitely something we need to add to our templates, which is like, yeah, let's put this right under here. So this is gonna be my total net, and then I'm gonna use a variable for this. So that's gonna be my total net. Let's right align this and just duplicate. You know what? Actually, make this 0 borders. I can delete this again, and let me duplicate this 2 times. Because we have in Germany, and there's probably similar in other countries, we have VAT. So we're gonna have to add that, and then there is a, well, like your total gross, right? Okay, and then we're gonna have a little bit of a footer here, so we can actually reduce the margin on this one again, maybe back down to 10, and this one maybe I can actually do bold. Yeah, right. I think this is kind of what an invoice looks like. Okay, so let's publish this. Again, if you have any questions or want to see me add other stuff to this, feel free. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to fill in the blanks and get this going. Actually, we do have I just saw we can actually style the columns, the column headers a little bit, and I think that would look nice. So, you know, just like this, and publish this. Okay. So I guess we can do net, VAT, and gross totals now. So how do we do that? I think it's going to be similar to the counter. The counter trick, right, where we just add +1. So I'm just going to use a calculator element and calculate net total, and that's going to be my calculate net total plus the current line total. And we just need to put this after the line total is calculated. We can even do it because we're not going to need it in the table, so I can just put it here. But we are going to need it here. Yeah, okay, and this is also does require formatting. So so let me just add in another value converter. Convert totals or format total values, and that's going to be my total nets as text. Oh no, from type number. Did I accidentally name this the same way? Hold on. Unit price text, total as text. Yeah, we should not call this is total next. Yeah, we should rename this so as to not confuse. So this one actually I want to call line total as text, right? So that's going to be my line total, and that goes in here. Yeah, it's not updating, but line total should be fine. And then this one is my net total. And then that. And then that goes in here. Right here. Yeah. And then the VAT, that's also interesting. So let's pick that. I mean, technically, depending on where we are in the world, there's different VAT values, like percentage-wise, on different types of articles. I think for now I'm just going to keep it fairly simple and just assume one VAT value. So I'm just going to do that and times that by 19%, which is the VAT in Germany for most products. There are some differences. I think books or something like this, they have a bit of a VAT, like only 7% VAT, but yeah, let's just assume we only sell 19% VAT products. I guess you could put the VAT also in the articles in the database that we created. But yeah, and by the way, we need to add this after the calculation. So we need to calculate the VAT first. And while we're at it, we might as well calculate gross total. And obviously that's just going to be my net total plus the VAT. So net total as text, VAT as text, and gross total as text. Okay, I see there's a question in the chat. Can we add a company stamp? Sure. I'm not quite sure what you mean by company stamp. I mean, let me just finish this, and then we'll go back to the template in a second. Yeah, because now we can actually just fill these out. So we have our format total values. Where is that? Right here. And now we have VAT as text, which I can put in here, and then our total gross formatted. Okay, we'll give this a try in a second. Let's go back to the template. So I mean, this is the logo that you can put in. Obviously you can put in any image. I don't know if that's what you mean as a stamp, but yeah. Hi Iman, thanks for joining the chat. What are we doing? Well, we're building a little shopping app that builds us a invoice, and I'm doing that all without coding a single line of code, trying this no code thing, right? So I've already set up an interface for like a tablet where people can select articles from a database that we've already created also, and then right now I'm setting up some sort of document template that well, that should be like the end of the app, right? So someone puts in their order, and then we have this flow, this one, that will actually go through all the steps, calculate some line totals and some VAT and whatever, net and gross, and then creates us a invoice document. By the way, that should be renamed invoice documents. So yeah, let's just give it a try. Let's see how it works. So let's start the shopping app, and let's pick large coffee 2, and let's pick large coffee 1. Buy now. And let's check out what we got. Okay. Hold on. 2 times 450 is 9, so that's right, and this is right, and 1 and 2 is right, and then 1350, that checks out, and then the VAT. I mean, let's just I'm just roughing this, so 257, yeah, that's fine, and then oops, and then 1607 as a total. I guess that's also exactly right. So yeah, seems about right. Hey Amanthea, I do know React.js because I am actually also a bit of a programmer, and at least I try. But the whole point of this is actually that people who don't know how to code and don't want to learn how to code can actually build their own apps without knowing something like React.js. React.js is obviously awesome technology and can do cool stuff with it. But yeah, in this stream, I'm kind of trying to explore how far you can get without code, right? So without a programming language. And well, this is what I came up with until now. But I think there is some stuff I can still improve. So for example, I think we need more articles, because just coffee is a little bit boring. Let's create a sandwich. And let's see if we can get a nice sandwich picture. That looks tasty. Let's try to pick this one. And yep, let's just use that sandwich. What's a sandwich like this cost these days? I don't know. 6.25? I don't know. Just probably more than that, right? 8.25. Want to do some uneven numbers, right? So we can get some calculation going. So yeah. Okay. So this is that. Okay. And I mean, now just without touching the flow, this should just give me 2 coffees and 2 sandwiches. Yep, seems to work. I think there's one small detail that I can actually improve is, and that's a trick. I can do an auto redirect to the report, to the invoice, right? So let's actually call it that, and maybe we have some little bit of an invoice style. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, but this auto redirect, what this should let us do is, we can just do 2 coffees, buy now, and boom, we're right in the invoice. So that's cool. And what we can also do, I think that would be nice for the shopping app, is like, let's do a checkbox and we can ask the customer if they want to have the invoice sent to them via email, right? So I guess I want to have a checkbox for this. Do you want to get the invoice sent by email? Question mark. And now I can do a condition. If checked, then they obviously need to provide their email address, because otherwise, like, how are we supposed to send them that? All right. Okay. So that's that. I think that should work. And now we need to implement this in the flow. So if I go back in here, yeah, right after the invoice was created. Let me break this up here. And now I think I need to have a logic element first. Does customer wants email? Question mark. And the condition for this is that do you want to get email? No, let's do the other way around. Email address. Email address is not empty, because if it didn't check the box, then it's always gonna be empty. So does customer want email means email address is not empty. Yes. So if no, we'll finish, and if yes, we're gonna send them an email. So let's take the email node. Send invoice to customer, and the email is going to be a variable, right? And the variable is gonna be exactly this email address. So we're gonna put it in. Here is your invoice, and then well, you can put some nice text. You know, this is my little bakery. You know, whatever. Can make this look a little bit nice. Here's your invoice, and then for the attachments, I'm actually going to create invoice document file. I'm actually going to attach this as an attachment to the email, and then I'm gonna plug this in here like so. So if the customer wants an email, they'll get the email. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can grab some temporary email that we can use for this test. How does this work? Why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? Okay, there we go. All right, let's try this. Publish. Launchpad. Shopping app. 2 coffees. 2 sandwiches. That's what we want. And yes, we want to get the invoice, please, and please send it to this address. Okay. Buy now. And it's doing its thing. And here's the thing. What we can actually go do now is we can go into the runs and see what actually happens. And you can see here, right? I don't know if you can see this. This is kind of the flow that we built, but now it's showing us how it went in this instance. And in this case, it actually took the route up here, right? Because it did. Yeah, we wanted to get that. And check it out. Here's the email that I just received. So we can open that. Here's your invoice, my little bakery. And where's the attachments? I saw an attachment here. Did I just... There's an attachment icon here. How do we get that? Oh, I think this one. Oh yeah. Let's download it. Sure. Yep, there we go. That's the PDF. That's the PDF that I just got. So yeah, that was also quite nice. Maybe I should right align these a little bit just to make it look a little bit more pleasing. Again, I think this is something I guess you can spend like hours fine-tuning this if you really want to, but yeah, I guess that's fine. And then column 4, also gonna right align this. One more thing that I noticed that wasn't quite right is the date, because I hard-coded that as well. So let's go back into the flow and see what we can do about the current dates. Hi, Aman. Yeah, about the experience. Well, here's the funny thing. Me personally, I never had like formal training in programming. Like everything I know, I kind of self-taught myself from the internet and by just trying. But to be honest, I've been doing that for, what is it, like 14, 15 years now. So a bit of experience, I guess. But yeah, but again, as I said earlier, like I'm trying to not use code, but kind of use this kind of thing, because that's the whole point, I think, of this no-code revolution, is that it opens up the possibilities for people who are not trained programmers to build these kind of apps. And again, I mean, I'm just here trying to see how far I can take it. And so we want to have format total values. I think we can just use that to actually get the formatted date as well. So formatted current dates. And I want to now use date to text. And there is actually a variable here, datetime, that's called current date. So I can just use that, but it's a yellow variable. See that? Yellow. So yellow goes into yellow. And now I do want to have my pattern. I'm just going to use this one, which is kind of the German or European style pattern. But again, you can use any pattern. So I could do like American style would be, I guess, this, right? So that would also be possible. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just gonna keep it like this. And now that's our format total values. Well, let me just call this format values. It's gonna be enough. And then formatted current date. That's what I'm gonna put in here, where I had it hard coded, but I can do it like this as well, right? Okay. So that should be nice. Okay. What else do we need to do? Actually, let me think about it. Any suggestions, guys, on what we need to add to this invoice or to this shopping app? Is there missing anything? I'm actually in Germany. That's where I live. So yeah, it's 11 past 6 p.m. right here, and having a good time. Some coffee. Where you're from? Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I mean, the recipient is something, I guess, that we still haven't done. I mean, that's probably pretty easy to do. Let me just do that. Just have a text field on top, name and address. Let's just assume we don't have a customer database or something. I mean, I guess if this were like a B2B app, so for example, I'm a customer and my supplier would provide me with an app like this, right? Then probably I'd log into somewhere and then they already have my data, address, name, etc. So I wouldn't have to fill it out. But for we're in this bakery, imaginary bakery, and so yeah, let's have the customer fill out their names and stuff. And so now we can go back to the flow and use that value. So that should be in here, shopping cart UI, name and address. Oh, hold on, that's one flaw in my thinking. Is we have two variables here, but only one variable from the UI. So I'm just gonna make it like this. Should be fine. Yeah. And Okay. Aman, whereabouts in India you're based? Because we actually have people in our team who are located in India. That's interesting. So in this create invoice document, I think I want to put right here. We can put this publish. All right. We still haven't done the invoice number. That's going to be an interesting one. That's going to be an interesting one. But I have an idea. Let's go again, do the shopping app. And now I'm just actually going to, you know, okay, let's do like just one coffee for now. That's enough. And no email. Okay, so there we go. And now I actually put in the correct address up here, you know, the way I wanted it. And I didn't want to have an email, so hopefully let's take a look at this run now. Yeah, and you can see now it took this path. Didn't send me an email, which is, you know, kind of what I told it to do. Yeah, so now let's talk about because that's, I think, kind of almost the last remaining puzzle piece is this invoice number, right? Because I think we've got everything else figured out pretty much, but we still don't have that, and I think we're going to need another business model for this, which, by the way, could also be quite valuable to the shop owner for like bookkeeping purposes. We're gonna need to keep track of all the invoices that we create. And why? Well, that's because we want to have that auto incrementing number, and we can actually use this ID property here. And set this to auto. And what this will do, this will actually create an automated incrementing number. And let's just add the customer information and obviously the invoice file, but that's gonna be added. Let me see how we can do that. Because I'm thinking how do we attach the actual invoice document to this, but I think we'll get there. Let me just save this for now, and let's create a view for this as well, so we can access this later. Okay, so this is this, and let's just do this invoices. That's fine. So now I can show you how, like, if I create an invoice now and I just type something, it'll actually give me a invoice number of 1. And by the way, I should make this be read-only so people don't mess with it, and this should be required. Okay, so like this. So now if I do set up an invoice, well, actually none of this is supposed to be created by an end user. We're gonna automate this all with the flow, but still. And now we've got number 2, which is great. Okay, so now, invoices, let's clear those. By the way, it's gonna stay at 2, so the next invoice I'm gonna create is going to be 3, just to keep that in mind, but I think that's fine. Actually, there is a one like accounting rule, a law, whatever, in Germany, where you actually have to have distinct invoice numbers, and they have to be in a sequence, right? So you can't have to run random numbers; they have to follow a sequence. So that's kind of like one of the bookkeeping rules we have over here, and I guess this would actually meet those requirements, right? Now, when do we need to do this? We need to do this before we can create the documents, because we need that value for the document. So let's just move all of those nodes to the side. Why am I using the wrong? Yeah. So let's move those out of the side. Let's break this up here. Maybe zoom in a little bit. And now I actually want to create a new invoice object. Create invoice object. And that's going to be my invoice. And for the customer, I'm just going to use the same value from the UI, which is name and address. Boom, that's it. Done. But now I should, yeah. Okay. Something I just noticed. I think out of this create invoice document, no, that's not right. Create invoice object. Where is it? I only got the object and the object ID back. I don't have and the object ID is not the ID property that I created. So I actually do need to do another object get right here, which, yeah, is a little bit of a, you first create it, then you get it back, but okay. That's because this node is assuming that you have all the properties and the values, the variables that you need to create the object, so you won't need to get them again. But in this case, with auto ID, in this case we need to get it again, because in this step it creates the object, then it creates the auto ID for it, and now we need to get the object again, and now we're going to have the auto ID value. And so we're just going to get the same invoice object that we just created, and then in this item we should now have the number, which is our auto generated number, and then this is something we can finally put in here, and let's publish that. Okay. And by the way, now we can even do a relationship to the same object. That's nice. That's actually what I wanted to do also. So that fits together nicely now. So let's publish, and let's run it again one more time. So Max, I don't know, Max from Sweden, 1 coffee and 1 sandwich. Okay, no email. What are we looking for? Well, I'm expecting invoice number to be 3, automatically set. Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's good. And by the way, the right alignment here, well, maybe it's a little bit too extreme. We could use some padding, but okay. So that looks good. And we should also now have an invoice item here, number 3, Max from Sweden. And if you click on it, there's actually my document too. So that's the document that I just created. Let's do another one just for comparison. So coffee and sandwich. So let's just do Launchpad. And let's just go a little bit crazy. Let's just get, I don't know, 150 coffees, like whatever. Boom. 675. Okay. And it's number 4. So I did auto increment. We have the proper invoice number, and in here we now have that invoice as well, and we can open that, and that should have this invoice attached to it. And by the way, there's also ways, I mean, now it's just, integer, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes you always want to have an invoice number that has a little bit of a different scheme, I guess, like INV-4 or 2024-4 or something like this. That's also something you could do, right? So you could use a text resolver or something like this to make this nice. So you know, I'm actually gonna let's do that. Let me do a text resolver, create invoice number, and I'm going to need one more thing. I'm going to need a value converter. Get current year. Because I need to convert date to text and then use just the Y's to get the current year. Okay, and then I'm gonna get the current dates. So that should give me 2024. And for this one, I want to say invoice inv dash and then current year dash, and now how do we do it? Get invoice object with auto ID number. This, right? So it's gonna be, no, sorry. Yeah, but it's fine. I think it's fine. Okay. So like this. Now we simply have to put it in the right place. Where is that again? Format values, create invoice, create. Okay, let's go even further down here. Yeah, I think it needs to go right in between here. Like this, like this, like this. And then create invoice number. That should go in here instead. Yep. Let me clean this up a little bit. So let me move this to the right. This up here. By the way, there's also some nice layout options. So I can just do this, for example, align those all vertically and distribute evenly, just to make it look a little bit nicer, right? Especially important if you have like super large flows, etc. Okay. So one more try. Shopping app. This is just a test. Now I'm feeling hungry. 20 sandwiches. Thank you. Okay. Okay. It did look like -5. I was kind of like, what was that? Like, it's not auto incrementing. It seems like, but it's actually 5-5. So INV 2024-5. So it does have a line break in there. So let me try to get rid of that line break in the text resolver. Where is that? Right here. Okay. Yeah. Invoice INV 2024-6. Obviously, you can now use any template, any format, any style that you want. But yeah, I think that's about it for the night. I guess. I mean, I think it's quite. I mean, I think it's quite useful what we built. I mean, again, this is just an invoice example, but this could be anything, right? This could be, oh, this one actually should go, this should go in the footer, but it should go above the layouts. I mean, I build an invoice now, but obviously you can do any type of document. So it could be an offer document, could be logistics, some sort of receipt notification, whatever kind of documentation or documents you want to generate. I guess this template designer is the way to do it, and then you'll use a flow to kind of put in all the pieces and fill it with actual data, and have dynamic elements like a table as well. And yeah, So one last run. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll leave you with just a modest 1 coffee and 1 sandwich. And yeah. All right. Hope you had fun. If you're watching this video after it's out, please use the comment feature if you want to ask questions. We're monitoring it all the time, and we're here to answer any questions. Also, if you like what you saw, like, I'm trying to do different challenges, different apps every week, so subscribe to the channel so you get notified when we have the next stream coming up. Also, add a like to the video. I think that helps us with the algorithm to get a good community going of people to see what you can do with no code, because that's what it's ultimately all about. And as always, everything that I built here and all the results and the flows and the templates, they're going to be available as a downloadable template. Links also in the description. So if you want to play around with this yourself, like, take it from here, make it your own. Yeah, that'd be awesome. And thanks for joining, and I see you